I don't think anything could have prepared you for something quite like this.
I was like, I can't even believe this is really happening.
So you have that mystique of, you know, what's going to happen, how am I going to hold up?
I wouldn't change anything that's ever happened.
Meet Jimmy Parks, Alan Brown, Johnny Hernandez, and Bobby Thomas, four men who were brought together by what's described as the Great World's Fight, an illegal encounter of the weird kind. It all started back in July of 1978, where an unsanctioned brawl was scheduled to occur at the World's Fair in Fredericksburg, Texas.
Such a lovely place.
Hernandez and Thomas were to fight it out in the ring under what's called the Queensberry rules, which meant the match continued until one man went down for more than 30 seconds. And on that hot July day, both fighters went through round after round before the winner finally claimed his victory.
I knew it was going to be tough because he's a pretty tough guy.
Hernandez was a trained athlete who knew plenty of karate and self-defense moves, but for his match against Thomas, he had to learn a different type of fighting style.
Because I didn't know how to box, and I was going to need to learn some boxing technique because my punches were different. They were karate-type techniques.
So he turned to his friend Alan Brown for help. He trained Hernandez and then became a major promoter of the fight. Brown was also fully aware of what kind of opponent Hernandez faced.
Bobby Thomas was a licensed boxer. He fought some professional fights here in town, and he fought under the name of Kid Death. So if that can just give you an idea of his personality.
Thomas says he got the nickname after he won his very first fight. And in order to make sure he fit his title, he carried around a human skull. But in his match against Hernandez, his scare tactic proved to be of little help.
I made up in my mind that the athlete would beat the street fighter, and I was going to prove it.
But Thomas had a few tricks up his sleeve.
I had these police white, slick black leather gloves, and that was my demise, though.
The gloves were loaded with lead. Right after the fight began, Thomas took his first swing.
I knocked him cold, but you come with straight right the first punch I threw.
Both of my ears were ringing. I mean, it's like lost my balance and equilibrium. And
the fight almost ended right then, but Hernandez got up, and soon Thomas's ploy to win began to weigh him down.
The gloves are, I think, what won it for John, because they started wearing him down. They were just too heavy for his arm. You could just see it in his eyes. He just didn't have anything left. The energy was gone, the gas was gone. He was taking too much of a pounding.
Jimmy Parks refereed the fight. He was just as fascinated by the crowd as he was by the heat inside the ring.
Maybe the first 500 to 1,000 people closest to the ring had a passion about this. They were pulling for somebody. It was obvious they had a lot of money on the line. There was a lot of pride on the line. They had picked sides. They were completely polarized.
The brawl lasted for close to 45 minutes. Thomas's lead gloves made it hard for him to swing, and he struggled during the duration of the match.
He was so big I couldn't push him off me to punch. See? He would just maul me.
me standing there eyeing him, that's what I remember at the end of the fight, that I actually knocked him out. Not that he ran out of air, but...
Today, more than 30 years later, Hernandez continues to teach mixed martial arts. Both Jimmy Parks and Alan Brown are successful defense attorneys, and Thomas is currently seeking what he describes as useful employment. And none of them say they ever expected to watch their idea grow into a multi-million-dollar industry.
In my wildest dreams, I had really not thought of like a bare knuckle fight where you could kick and grab above the waist or anything fought by these rules.
We didn't even know we were pioneers.
It was just something to do. Kind of like eating 50 eggs, it's just something to do.
And something that eventually changed history. Stacia Wilson, KENS 5 Eyewitness News.